All right. So welcome everybody to the third installment of Moto-Mecca
Monday.
And today we are starting a 4-part series where we talk about a ride that we did to, Ty, where did we go?
Lost Wages.
To Lost Wages, AKA Las Vegas, Nevada. A certain two people did a ride a few weeks ago to Idaho. And what were we promised the weather would be like? So here's where we're going to wash our mouths out on the Pacific Northwest weather professionals, meteorologists.
Yeah, 85 and sunny.
85 and sunny.
Perfect day to go dry out and warm up.
Well, it was 85. I think it was just 85 Kelvin, not 85 Fahrenheit, as we were promised. It's late May, and it is near freezing temperatures, and it is raining, and it is sleeting and snowing. We are in summer gear because, again, we were promised 85-degree Fahrenheit weather. And we looked like a couple of frozen popsicle drowned rats. Water in our boots.
Water in our boots.
Yep, and that is when I realized that my GS 1150 was lacking some traction control, some brighter lights. And a couple of days later, where did we find ourselves?
At the BMW dealer.
We found ourselves talking to the good people at South Sound BMW. They happened to have a 2017 BMW R1200 GS Adventure with a little under, well, right about 6,500 miles on it. The previous owner took awesome care of that bike, and they made me an offer I couldn't refuse, and I didn't refuse it. And a couple of hours later, proud owner of a new motorcycle. So we decided to go somewhere where it was unlikely to be freezing cold. And in the early summer, or really technically late spring, Lost Wages never disappoints. So off we went. And we had a really great time. We ride prep. And maybe a great place to start is to talk about some of the gear that we wear and some of the stuff that we like and what we might recommend people take a look at. So how about we start with the helmet that's just there to your left? What is this guy, and tell us what you think about it.
This is a Schuberth C4. This is my second helmet, actually. I had an Arai originally, but wanted to go with something a little more upscale, a little quieter. And this one had the built-in comms unit, which is the Senna version, the SC1, I believe, that's inside of it. So I thought this would be a great helmet to try out. Unfortunately, as we'll show you later, that didn't exactly meet our expectations.
Yeah.
So I went ahead, as you can see there, and put a Cardo on it instead, and I've been very happy with that.
Yeah, so we used the Senna 30Ks for, well, tried to get a season out of them. They certainly were not inexpensive. Supposed to be top of the line, best of the best. And we had a very different experience with those Sennas. We did not like the Sennas at all. We got rid of them and decided to go with the competitor, Cardo. We got the PackTalk Bolds. So these are the ones that have the mesh technology, so you can connect lots of riders together. You can pair in other types of comms and link them into your mesh, which is really handy since not everybody has the Cardos or the PackTalks that can do the mesh. First Moto-Mecca thumbs up goes to the Cardo PackTalk series. What do you think of the Schuberth C4? Schuberth is kind of considered, you know, you're getting up there top of the line when it comes to a touring helmet. Would you buy the helmet again? What has your experience been now that you've had it for, at least you've had it for at least one riding season?
I like the helmet. It's comfortable, it fits, there's no hot spots, it's not, I don't feel cramped in it.
Yeah.
It's heavier because it is a flip-up style helmet, and it is warmer because there's one spot here where the air goes in, but there's no exhaust port.
Right.
And I'm sure they do that for sound, because it is a quieter helmet. You can put the visor up, and if you can grab the bottom button here, it flips up, and on the bottom is a visor sunshade.
Now, you used to ride with sunglasses when you had your Arai, and you got a lot of great ride time out of your Arai. I've been a huge fan of the drop-down visor. Now, one, I wear glasses. These are transitions, so if I didn't have the visor, they would transition to dark into light again. But I ride with that visor down pretty much any time there's any reasonable amount of sunlight out. What do you think about having a helmet with a drop-down sunshade?
I like it over sunglasses because there are times where we ride into a tunnel and it's just absolute darkness
Yeah.
and your eyes can't adjust fast enough.
Yeah.
So having that, be able to flip it up quickly helps.
I ride a Kabuto Kamui, which is a helmet that is not made anymore. Kabuto has since upgraded that helmet. And I loved the helmet so much. It's not a modular. It does have the flip-down visor, which is a must on any helmet that I own. But we didn't bring it into review because, well, you can't get them anymore. And there was a small cachet available on eBay. And myself and our buddy Troy bought up all of the stock. I don't think there's any more Kabuis for sale because we bought them all. So at any rate, big shout out to the Kabuto folks. You've got the quick release strap, which I'm a huge fan of the quick release. Previously, I don't think your Arai had a quick release.
No, it was a D-ring.
What do you think about the quick release? Do you like that as well?
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is nice. So if I were shopping for a long distance touring versatile helmet, the C4 is super. It's quiet. It's extremely well made. If you want to share with people about how much this helmet cost you, US dollars out the door.
I don't know. Said Visa settle it up, and they did,
Right.
and then I just kind of sweep it under the
See,
carpet.
it's good to be TY because you don't even need to worry about what things cost. You just fill out the credit card info and you're good to go. But I think these helmets retail for somewhere around the $700 range, or at least they did when you bought it. So not an inexpensive helmet, but incredibly well made. They're designed to be very safe, very quiet. They have the tight-fitting neck roll. I mean, this is some of the best in the game. Ty's been a really big fan of it. Let's move on and talk about our boots. So here to my right, these are a set of boots that I just purchased, the same day that I purchased the motorcycle, the R1200. These are the Alpine Stars Belize. So these are an ADV style boot. And the way that you can tell is they're built a little bit tougher. They have motocross-ish hardened fronts. So if your legs bang onto a branch or something, if you're riding off-road, you have some additional protection. These buckle style clasps, all right, a lot more durable than, other designs. Very easy to get on, very easy to get off. These are Dry Star, which is Alpine Star's way of saying that these are waterproof boots. They're waterproof right up till about right here. There is a longer style or a taller style of this boot for those of you who want, a little bit more boot, but for doing mostly on-road with a little bit of off-road, these boots are phenomenal. I paid $250 US for them, and I spent some time on this ride breaking them in, and they're just phenomenal. They're not too hot. They're very comfortable. It is pretty heavy-duty leather, so probably going to need a few hundred miles before they get nice and soft and pliable. Right, the ankles are going to be a little stiff at first, but give them time and make that investment. I've been extremely happy with these boots. Very comfortable to walk in. Just really, really super. A lot of boot for the money. I typically wear a US size 12. These are 11s and they fit perfectly. So I would say for the Belize, they might run a little bit on the big side. So definitely consider going down half or a full size. Again, 11s for my normal, pretty much right at size 12 foot. Ty, you have a pair of boots over there, ones that you like to wear on rides like this. What do you have and what do you think of them?
These are the Revit Discoveries. And the neat feature about these, they're also waterproof, but these have the BOA laces inside.
Nice.
So infinitely adjustable. Click it, tighten it up how you like, and put her away.
Ty, tell us a little bit about the jacket that you take on our rides.
This is a Gore-Tex jacket made by Climb. It's their Badlands jacket, and it has fully armored, both shoulders and back and arms, elbows. It comes with the level 1 armor. I took that out and put the level 2 armor in.
It's a little thicker, more protection with the level 2 compared to the level 1.
Like it. I have many seasons on this. The zippers are holding up well. None of the stitching has come out. The high vis has gotten washed out. It's lost its pop. But, I put it through the washing machine a few times, so the color doesn't hold up very well. But other than that, it's been a great jacket for me.
And here I have the First Gear Kilimanjaro riding jacket. I've had this jacket for, gosh, I think 5 years now. It's been fantastic. So like Ty's Climb, I also upgraded the armor to the level 2 D30. So this came with some really thin, flimsy armor. I think that's one way they cut some corners with this jacket. But after an armor upgrade, it's been great. Waterproof. It's got fully waterproof pockets on the front. Lots of ventilation. So what to look for when you're buying a jacket for long distance riding is something that's going to protect you from cold, something that's going to protect you from wet, something that will keep the sun off of you if you're in the desert. You would think that you would want to wear less gear when you're in the heat, and certainly you want more airflow, and that's where all of these vents are so important. Vents that are under the arms. So you can see we can unzip these vents as well. You have vents in the back that you can open and close right here, making this jacket a lot cooler. Mini jackets also have removable liners, so you can make it multi-season by adding and removing liners inside. Some jackets also have waterproof functionality with an inside liner or an overcoat. I have another jacket that has a waterproof overcoat. It's like more like a sport riding jacket. Armor in the shoulders, armor in the elbows, of course armor on your back always. Note that mini jackets will not come with back armor, so sometimes you do have to add that. Again, this one did come with it. It just was not very good armor. I think I paid around $75 for the upgraded D30 level 2 armor in this jacket, and certainly makes it heavier, but a whole heck of a lot safer. I also think you should look for high visibility features. So these have reflective bits, like Ty's Climb jacket has the high visibility on it. You never know when you're going to ride in inclement weather. Fog, people are going to have a hard time seeing you. Of course, at night, you really, really, really want to be seen. This jacket was right around $400, so it was probably about half the price of Ty's Climb jacket. And the Climb is really probably about as good as you're going to get out there. But if you're looking to do something on a bit more of a modest budget, I highly recommend the First Gear brand. This is the second Kilimanjaro jacket I have owned. I loved the first one, and it is a big reason why I bought the second one. Adjustable waist, adjustable arms, plenty of length in the back. Just overall been a really, really terrific jacket. So let's talk a little bit about staying safe while you're out on your ride. And we have some of the kit that we take with us to help us be safe. And maybe first on the list is going to be GPS gear. So specifically personal location beacons, or PLBs. Ty has an example of one that he has had for some time now, the InReach Explorer. That was made by DeLorme, and now that's part of Garmin. Ty, do you want to tell us a little bit about what this device does and why you have it and how you use it?
Sure. This device connects to the Iridium satellite network. So this gives me the ability to send via Bluetooth with my phone a text message, or from itself, it can work independently or with a phone, a message to anybody that I want to from anywhere in the world.
Don't rely on a cellular network. They don't rely on traditional, like walkie-talkie style radio communications. They communicate with low Earth orbit satellites that are all over our planet. So that is why you can get connectivity really anywhere. I use the Spot X, which I really like. I just recently purchased it. And it does the same thing. It allows you to receive text messages, send text messages. You can receive email and send email. So you get a special email address. You get a special phone number. My phone number is a 1254 number. That's the area code. So that anyone can text that number, and if you have a mobile device, you can receive a text. These are not phones, so we don't have the ability to talk on them. Satellite phones are very expensive. And really for personal safety, they might be a little overkill. The battery life is not as long, and that's a real consideration with these personal location beacons, is how long will they function without having to be charged. So we figure worst case scenario, they've been sitting in our backpacks or sitting in our side luggage for hours and hours, and then something unfortunate happens and this is our only link with the outside world. Well, it's not an immediate communication type thing, so it's not going to be send a text message and then 10 seconds later or 5 seconds later, the person receives that text like we're accustomed to with our phones. These devices sync on a periodic basis with the satellite network. So they check for any messages inbound that have been sent to you, and then they send outbound messages, and they also can send location updates or check-in messages, which will show up as a text or an email or a location on a web-based map, so people can follow your location. And those intervals range anywhere from a couple of minutes to 15 plus minutes, where you can set the check-in intervals. The more frequently you do it, the more battery that it's going to use. So if it's not an emergency, 15-minute location updates is probably plenty enough. Somebody has one of these GPS personal location beacons, Ty, and they hit the SOS button. What does that do? What happens?
Well, first you have to have a subscription.
Right.
So there's a monthly fee that's associated with that. And with that fee, you get basically an operator on the other end that's listening for that call. So once they receive your SOS, they're going to communicate with you to make sure and find out what's going on and what needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to contact local authorities if necessary, and then they're going to contact the family members list that you have registered with them to tell them what's going on.
More than likely, someone's going to show up with a helicopter, depending on how bad your situation is, to get you out of there. Moving on to other safety gear, I'm going to throw this one in there as safety gear, even though it is kind of multi-purpose. And what this guy is, many of you are probably familiar with him at this point, is a portable battery charger that also acts as a jump starter. So most of the time I don't use it as a jump starter. Most of the time I use it as just a USB charger. So plug it into the wall, charge it up. It's got USB ports on it, got a little flashlight, super handy. So when we're out, we can charge our comms, charge our phones, whatever those devices might be. But in the ugly event that our bikes do not turn over, we forgot to turn our lights off or did something else silly, we can connect these two things to the battery and put it into jump start mode, and boom, it'll turn that bike over. This is strong enough to turn over the engine on that Maserati behind me. So 4.7 liter high compression V8 engine. This turned it over no problem. It definitively would turn over any motorcycle out there. So I think I paid around $60 for this one. This one is made by a company called Vixing. I don't know if this model is still available, but if you go on Amazon, there are dozens and dozens of devices just like this one. I'm sure they're all fantastic. Again, serve two purposes, and this has gotten me out of a sling before. So, okay, so last, let's talk about route planning. So how do we plan our rides? We use multiple things. So the first thing that we covered is we don't use our phones. We don't use tablets while in our ride. We use our NAV systems, and something has got to get that route into those NAV systems. So we don't build the routes using those navigational devices. And frankly, it's, even the Garmin tools are not really designed to help you find tasty ways to get from point A to point B. Google Maps is not really designed to give you tasty ways to get from point A to point B, but Google Maps is a wonderful way for us to look at an area and maybe say, hey, here's a cool road we could take, or here's a place that actually has civilization, right? We're looking to stop in a particular town. Yes, it does have hotels. Yes, there is gas here, or any roads closed. Stuff like that is helpful. But then we'll actually build the route using the Moto platform. And we can decide where our stops are going to be. Point A to point B will be a highway to make time. Point B to point C, we're going to find the twistiest roads between those two places, and Moto gives you that option for kind of the twistiness level. We can verify and validate where that's going to take us on Google Maps, and then we can take that ride plan in Moto. We can share it with each other with the Moto platform, provided everybody has a Moto account. The good stuff requires a subscription. And then we will export that route into a GPX format right from the web-based Moto UI. So we don't do that from the mobile device, we do that from the web UI at calimoto.com. Then we import that into our Garmin navigational tool on a PC or a Mac, and then we convert that into a route. Then we sync that over USB to our navigational devices, and now we have a route with whatever name we call it that takes us on exactly the correct waypoints that Moto mapped out, but now that's something that we can consume in our navigational system. So we haven't really found the one and done tool that does it all for us. Garmin doesn't have something to help us find twisty roads, and Moto has no native way to push a route out to to a Garmin navigational device. So Ty, if you were thinking about how to maybe give some advice to some of the people who make nav systems or mapping systems, what would some of that advice be?
I think we're going to need another role to talk about that.
We're going to need another role to talk about that. I see that being a future video, which is how to route plan like a pro. What your choices are and what's missing. We actually are playing around with a new routing platform that works on our mobile devices that gives us some abilities that we've been looking for some time. So a little sneak peek is planning a route where there is the least amount of elevation change, or planning a route that goes around any current inclement weather, or a route that takes us on the straightest roads, the twistiest roads. All of these features are available in a single mobile-based platform right now. We are currently evaluating how well that platform works, and it might be the closest that we get to a one and done, so that's going to be coming up in a future episode.
Can't wait.
Thank you, everybody in YouTube land, for taking time out of your day to join us for another Moto-Mecca
Monday.
We hope you learned a lot, got some quality information. If there's anything else that you would like to know, or any thoughts or any feedback, gear that you like, technology that you use on rides, bikes that you would like to learn more about, please let us know in the comments below. Again, all of the gear that we talked about today, there are links to there at the bottom. And if you like our videos, definitely smash the like button. And if you really, really like our videos and would like to join us again next week, please hit that subscribe button and also hit the notification bell, and you'll get notified when our next video drops next Moto-Mecca Monday. So again, thank you so much and have a great rest of your day.
Thanks for watching.